Hey guys, time for another update. If you can tell, I've shaved. And in honor of the 3 inches of snow, first day spring break, 3 inches of snow, I'm wearing white to try to, I don't know, maybe connect with nature or something and hope I can turn it around. My sunny disposition may bring us some warm weather. So how have you guys been? I have had a pretty interesting couple days. Josie had a cold, hasn't been feeling good, so I haven't managed to perfect the Renegade. I'm working on it. I'm promising I'm going to get it out there. But I mean, some of you have seen my dancing skills. When I pull out the chipmunk, it's pretty amazing. So I'm going to try to see if I can merge that into my Renegade a little bit. But it's a struggle. I've been busy. Still grading DBQs. Almost done with those. Still working. They're a lot of work. I'm doing the laundry. Guys, I told you to do dishes. Do the laundry. Perfect time, because I know some parents are watching this. Maybe we make them do some laundry. Teaching kids how to do laundry is a great survival skill and a way to get through life a little bit more independent and being a regular guy. Remember how I asked you guys to make a puzzle? Well, I'm going to show you my progress so far. Here's my puzzle. We're getting pieces in, getting things done. All right. There's Callie. Hey, Callie. Hi. She's eating lunch, doing her homework, college homework online. Yep. Anyway. So we've been busy at home, doing a lot of stuff, trying to keep ourselves occupied. Went to the grocery store, couldn't get any eggs. Everybody apparently is hoarding eggs now, not just toilet paper and other cleaning supplies, but eggs and milk. And got a lot of emails from a lot of you. Really have enjoyed reading them. Got to say, Nick, stop longboarding, buddy. Stay home. Andrew, how's the knee? Didn't get an email from you, but I've been thinking about you. I want to see how your knee's doing. Other than that, it's just a regular old day where I'm just kind of trying to stay active and doing stuff, working out and playing a little F1 2019. Like I said, I'm in the qualifying phase for the Australian Grand Prix. Hopefully, I can bring home some points for Team Haas, which signed me in my career mode. Yeah, I'm a child. Anyway, so I got a little video. I'm going to show you a little bit, talking a little bit about the state of the world, because you know me, geek onion, peel back a layer of geek. There's more geek in there. I started really looking into how did this spread? How is this whole physical distancing? Is it really, how's it work out? How cool does it work? Is it actually important or not? So let's take a look at what I recorded there for you. All right, guys, let's talk about how all this stuff kind of happened. So I looked into it, and there are a couple of sites that I thought really showed how this all started, and I find it incredibly fascinating. So this article here from the New York Times is one that anybody can get to. You don't need a subscription, so it's kind of cool, but it's got a really unique way of saying how it went. There's an idea that the virus started in a seafood market in Wuhan, China. Now, they know it started here for sure, but this is their best guess, and some people aren't quite sure yet. So anyway, so what happened was, in China, we all know this is where everything kind of went crazy and everything started to spread out from there. So the first known case happened in Wuhan, China. There's 11 million people that live there. And it's right next to, if you can see here, a train depot. It's like a major hub for transporting of people and goods throughout China. So dozens of cases popped up that they knew happened. But what they figure is that there were clearly around, or nearly around, 1,000 cases overall, even with people that didn't know they had it. Now, every person that has this virus that doesn't take this seriously infects 2 to 3 other people on average. Okay, so that's what makes this way more contagious than even things like the flu, which I'm going to talk about in a little bit. So what happened around this time was also the idea of the fact that it was the Lunar New Year in China, and hundreds of millions of people in China were traveling all over the place for this particular holiday. And Wuhan is a big city, and 175,000 people left on that day alone. And they used cell phone tracking data, which is really cool, to kind of figure out how everybody went, where they went. So as people left, 7 million people in about 3 weeks, about 7 million people left in January before travel was restricted from that part of China. Okay. And if you had just these 1,000 people that got infected, they all then went home. And when they went home, it started local outbreaks in other parts of China that seemed pretty minor at the time. But as time went on and the cases kept getting worse and worse, those local outbreaks started to really expand and spread. And then from there, because China at the time wasn't taking it seriously, was pretending like it wasn't really happening and wasn't making a big deal out of it, people then flew around the world. And when they flew around the world, Guess what? They took it with them. 900 people went to New York every month. 2,200 went to Sydney every month. 15,000 people went to Bangkok. Okay. And the first known transmission happened here into Bangkok, right? Other cases turned up in all these other parts around the world, including the United States. Okay. And 85% went undetected. This is a sneaky virus. It's really sneaky. So at the end of January, everybody Wuhan was placed in lockdown. We wouldn't take any more travelers from there. But the problem is 30 cities across 26 countries had already been infected, or as it says, seeded. It's like a seed, and it starts to spread and grow from there. All right. And it started spreading locally and moving around and getting into those parts of the world. And then in certain places, as you can see, it really expanded. And this is where we started to notice it in our country out west in Washington. Okay. And you could see it started to hit New York, but also the West Coast was a really bad spot. So now what are we doing? There's this thing called the hammer and the dance that I found that I think is a really good way for us to think about this. For 3 to 7 weeks, if we stay home and we stay really closely following the idea of physical distancing from the people around us, we will make a huge impact in how bad this is. If we do nothing, if we kind of start to mitigate it, but don't really take the social or physical distancing seriously, or the hammer, which is where you can see the different trajectories of the infections, right? And why this is important is if you look at this. This is what happened in South Korea. Over the course of 3 weeks, people took this mandated physical distancing between people very seriously. And look at what happened. It skyrocketed, and then it dropped way back down, and then we get to the part called the dance. This is not going to be gone for a long time, but we can keep it under control if we have time to figure out how to do this well. And there's another thing that we have to keep in mind, and this is what happened in 1918 in the Spanish flu, right? This is Philadelphia during the Spanish flu, actually. They knew that this was going on. They had a big parade going on in Philadelphia where they said, hey, everybody, let's celebrate. We're going to, we're going off to war. Let's have our troops march off with a positive, feeling, all that good stuff, right? Look at all these tens of thousands of people. They had a massive outbreak. 4,500 people were died from it, right? And you can see this spike in Philadelphia. Whereas St. Louis decided that they were going to take it seriously and kept their people home. And they did things like closing schools and all that stuff. And look, it was much lower. Now you say to yourself, I looked at this, I'm like, wow, look at this. It went on a lot longer. This was shorter. But look at the number of people, 250 people per 100,000. That's a huge rate of infection. Our medical system in our country would be overwhelmed and would be unable to overcome that. We can do this. We can handle this. We cannot handle this. We have to take this seriously. This case study right here is a perfect example about why we have to keep doing what we're doing. So that's a lot of information. But I thought those sites were pretty cool. They had some really neat graphics, really cool ways of showing you how it worked. I just find it amazing that a virus like this could spread just from such a simple series of events that were just regular everyday life, and all of a sudden the whole world is dealing with it. There are 1.5 billion people, they think, in the world right now in the same situation as us, staying home. So my point to you is this, and this is why it's such an important thing for me. My wife is a nurse. When you get sick, if you go out and you get sick, you go and see people like my wife, and they then come home to us. And right now, if you haven't heard the news, and this is no joke, they don't have supplies to keep themselves safe. My wife doesn't have masks, N95 masks, to keep herself healthy if things were to go crazy. Lucky for her, she hasn't really had kids come in with this virus, but she has colleagues and people she's talking to, some of them in Elmhurst Hospital, that don't have the stuff that they need. And when you're going out and we're going out, if we do that and mixing up with people, every time you go and get together with someone, you're mixing all those people together. So, people like my wife, they have to take care of you when this stuff happens. And it's kind of scary for them when they're trying to stay healthy and safe themselves and all this stuff is going on. So stay strong. Don't give in to all those urges to go out and see people. I was walking down the street just today and I saw a group of like 6 kids, all from different families, and it didn't seem to matter to them. And if each of those families have 4 family members, we're talking about a mixture of over 20 people's potential contagions together, and one spreads it to the next, to the next, and to the next. So we got to stay strong and we got to stay positive. So I've got our next thing. Because some people, when I'm thinking of you, not into the whole TikTok idea. I totally get it. Some of us, it's very foreign. I'm just trying to find a way to make us smile, so I get it. Hopefully everybody can take care of this one. I saw Tom Hanks' wife put together what she's calling a Quarantunes list of music on Spotify. I want to make one for us. Everybody, if you could, in the comments down below, put in what you would put in as your one song for the Mr. Dahlman's class Quarantunes Spotify list. And what I'll try to do is I'll try to put together a list and see if I think I can link a Spotify list public. Boomer here is trying to figure out all this technology stuff. But I'll try to pull one together, and if not, we got the list. You can make your own. But I want us all to listen to the music that is picked by the people in our class as a way for us to stay connected, maybe smile a little bit, because I've been listening to a lot of music. This is a longer video than before, so I'll get the TikTok up. Give me a tune from Quarantunes, and stay strong, stay quarantined away from people, stay happy. This will be over before you know it. 3 weeks, if that graph shows 3 to 7 weeks, if we do this 3 weeks, we can be back together, and hopefully, and then we get past the hammer, and then we get to that long time until we get a vaccine, but at least we'll be healthy. See you guys soon.